Yeah.
Should be any time now.
Sorry, Rick, are we waiting for somebody else?
Yeah, we're just waiting for Joe. Can you hear me?
Oh, here we go. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, Joe said he'd be on.
Okay.
We think using the phone account, but it's not.
Oh.
It's the city has different account.
Now we're live on YouTube.
Okay. But we're still waiting for Joe?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
We expecting Gerald as well?
Yes,
Is he joining virtually or is he coming?
don't say,
Okay.
the only ones who are not coming are Sam and Gannon.
Okay.
Hey, Rick, is that your team that's been busy on the walls and behind there? That looks pretty good.
Oh, it wasn't my guys, but I'll take credit for it, you know.
Looks great.
It does.
Yeah.
A lot of sprucing up going in these offices, like the meeting rooms.
Yeah, no, that's great.
And we're a little tired looking, so.
I think there's rooms there that the community uses for a lot of meetings and things too, right? So,
Yeah.
good opportunity to get some messaging out of what the city does. So, have we reached out to them to see if they're attending?
Joe should be joining any second.
Okay. What do we need for quorum? 4?
Yeah.
Okay. So we'll just have to be aware of the movers and seconders on, I guess on the adjournment. Got Gerald on there, so if he doesn't make it, we have to adjust it.
Gerald's on the adjournment.
So I can switch them.
No, I've looked right out there. Haven't seen it.
Three went up on the 21st.
That's it.
Got came through yesterday.
Yeah.
Went down. So a ton. There are 2 coming down from Duluth tomorrow. One going to Seattle. But Lake Michigan, there's nothing. Nothing out.
It's frozen.
Here, I'll just go send them the link really quick.
Okay. There he is. Alright.
In that kind of a day.
Hey, Joe, do we have you?
Can you hear me now?
We can hear you. Yeah.
Okay, that's better than last time. Good.
You are our fourth for quorum, so we very much appreciate you joining.
Well, I read the agenda and I'm familiar with the subject matter.
Good, awesome. Okay, so everybody has in front of them or on their screens a copy of the package that was emailed out, hopefully. First item up for bid is calling the meeting to order, which I will. It's now 4:11. First order of business is adoption of the minutes from the January 26th meeting. I can't see the room because I've got Joe. I don't know if we can switch to the room. I don't know. At any rate. So does anybody have any issues with what's on the minutes that were sent out for the February 26th meeting?
No, not a problem for me.
Okay.
Yep.
No? Okay. Can I get a mover and seconder to adopt the minutes? I have Joe. I can't see the room, as I said, so.
Bill.
Bill, there we go. Okay, Bill, Joe and Bill, all in favor? Okay, we have minutes. Does anybody have a pecuniary interest with anything that's on the agenda today? Not seeing any. The agenda is attached. Looking for, I guess, is there anything that we need to add to the agenda? Anything that we need to correct? Not seeing any. Can we get an adoption of the agenda? I've got a mover with Sheila and a seconder with Bill. Everybody in favor of the agenda?
Yes.
Good.
Yes.
New business and updates. We have a request for EDF funding. That's for the RCIP pilot, which is a rural community immigration pilot. Am I going to hand that over to who, Rick? Is it you or is it Travis?
Travis will give you the overview on it.
Sure.
Great. Looking forward to hearing it, Travis. Looks like a great program.
Thanks everyone for meeting. I know it was short notice. We had some kind of extra push from executive management here to try to get this wrapped up. So again, thank you for attending on short notice. So the RCIP program is very similar to what we had previously, which was the Rural and Northern Immigration Pilot Program. Immigration Canada was looking to, and still is looking to, make this a permanent program. However, they needed to do another pilot in order to meet the timelines to make it permanent. So the essence is still the same for those of you that are familiar or not familiar. If a candidate is able to get a permanent full-time position in Sault Ste. Marie, there's a preferential pathway to permanent residency. And the program is largely targeted at skilled labor or key areas where we cannot fill locally. So we've had a lot of issues in terms of, just as an example, filling personal support workers or in the trades or other skilled positions that we have not been able to find locally. And so this program's been, the RNIT, the previous program, was quite effective for us. Just as a data point, in RNIT, we had 1,031 principal applicants, and including their families, a total of 884 applicants plus dependents were accepted through the program. So it's a huge bump in terms of the population for the city. A lot of younger families came in, and the program supported 248 local businesses. RCIP, we're hoping what we've been allocated by Immigration Canada is 300 positions per year, or 300 allotments per year for the course of the next 5 years. So we should be able to get 1,500 recommendations through RCIP, and then plus the dependents on top of that. So it's another huge opportunity for our local employers. And then great opportunity to grow the community once again. RCIP was announced and formally kind of authorized late last year. At that point, Fedor reached out and informed us that they were accepting applications for support funding. It was post our budgeting season, so we didn't have an opportunity to bring the request as part of our budget. And it was also very unclear to what extent that they were going to fund it. At one point, they discussed funding it 100%. And then as we got later into the process, they indicated that it was likely going to be 90%. So it was, actually have the email here, February 26th, or actually, sorry, January 15th was when we had confirmation on the budget that was going to be approved, as well as the city's contribution. So the expectation or the agreement will state that Fedor is going to support 90% of the cost, and that the city needs to come forward with 10%. The city's contribution would be $102,500, in which we were asking support from this board to make a recommendation to City Council through and I'm not sure how many of you were on the board getting on 5 years ago, but this was a similar request that we made for RNIP when it was kicked off. It was similar issues with timing and funding. So that's the synopsis, and if anybody has any questions.
Yeah, Travis, this is an excellent program. The previous program, was it called the Rural Community Immigration Portal?
No, it was Rural Northern Immigration Pilot Program.
Okay, so it's a different program.
It's different but very distinct. So the pilots are only allowed to run for 5 years.
Okay,
After which they have to set up a new pilot.
okay.
And so it's largely the same. Change in name was one of the things that they did.
And when did the previous pilot end? Was that?
So it ended formally in March of 2024. The expectation was they were going to try to start RCIP as soon as possible, but typical fashion, it started later in the year.
Okay, thank you.
Much later. Yeah.
What are the funds used for?
So we have so we've got funding for admin and operations. So it's general cost setup to start the program. We've got a large amount dedicated towards marketing. So the last time we did marketing throughout Canada, as well as overseas. And then we've got a support for a temporary admin to help. It's now a permanent admin, which will help administer the program. And then we have consulting fees and some travel for attendance at job fairs. So the consulting fees we used last time were certain aspects were used for I don't know the best way to term it, but digital investigation to locate skilled talent overseas, where they would mine data from LinkedIn profiles and other profiles to target, whether it was machinists or healthcare practitioners or engineers of a certain type do that. So.
And if an applicant is successful and they move to Sault Ste. Marie, are they required to stay for a certain length of time in the pilot, or is that the employer's?
So it is the
decision?
employer's responsibility. I mean, at the point that they become permanent residents, much like you and I, they have the choice to move anywhere. But during the application process and review, they're not able to leave the employer. So we do follow up in terms of confirming who's still remaining in the community, and the retention rate's been quite strong. So what we're seeing, just generally speaking, so the top 3 countries, well, it's kind of top 4, that we saw through RNIP were India. Obviously, a lot of that had to do with the international student population. Philippines was huge towards the end of the program, and Philippines, very large families coming. So yeah, and then we had Nigeria with a lot of families, and then collectively Latin America, just being we have all these 4 countries moving here, so. But the retention's been really good, and what we're seeing with the, you know, particularly the families that are embedded within the schools. The Filipinos have a very strong Catholic society, so within the churches, sports teams, what have you, so the retention's really been really strong, and you're seeing that. You know, in the news of the growth in our school systems as well. So it's been great to see.
Is this program available for just Sault Ste. Marie or for Algonquin District?
There are, yeah, so just Sault Ste. Marie and Echo Bay
Okay.
is our boundary.
Okay.
So,
Our hotels had a Philippine individual that we hired for data processing and accounting. And then we had to let him go because of the sale of our hotels. And he went to another company in Sault Ste. Marie. And he's doing quite well. It worked for us.
Travis, any concerns with, if you're bringing 1,500 new families into the community for things like housing or support systems, those sort of things? Is there any challenges there?
I think with what we're seeing in terms of our planning applications and growth in terms of you know, multi-residential buildings that are going up, we're seeing a fair amount of development, and I think, and Rick, you can validate this, but it's some of the biggest growth that we've seen in years in terms of the development of apartment complexes, housing, what have you. So we are seeing a lot of it come on board, and certainly, you know, over the course of time, we don't view that as a risk at this point.
Okay, thank you. Anybody else have any questions for Travis before we put the motion on the floor? No? Okay, so there's a motion attached to this. Be resolved that the request for EDF funding from the Corporation of the City of Sault Ste. Marie Tourism Board. Is that what we meant, Tourism Board here?
No, that should read Economic Development Board.
I think you're right. Be resolved that the request for EDF funding from the Corporation of the City of Sault Ste. Marie Economic Development Board in the amount of $102,500 for the Rural Community Immigration Pilot, or the RCIP. We have a mover, Bill, seconder, Joe. All in favor? Okay, it's unanimous. Congratulations, Travis. I'm looking forward to seeing this thing roll out. So
Thank you very much.
I don't have any upcoming meetings, the next agenda item that are on the schedule. Is that because we're doing them at the call of the chair, or is it just we didn't populate it?
I think I sent out a meeting invite for the next meeting, but I don't know if we need it. I think Rick is going to speak to that.
Yeah, Rob, in light of this, we can discuss whether we need to have a scheduled meeting in the next month or not.
Okay,
So.
all right.
I had one for the 28th of April, tentatively.
Right,
Yeah,
so I don't know.
keep that as a tentative goal for now, but I think, and then play it by ear.
When is our AGM meeting?
June, mid-June.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so we'll leave this one open for now. Next item up is adjournment. Mover Joe, seconder, we need to fill in. Okay, I see Sheila. All in favor? All right. Enjoy the rest of your day, folks. Thanks everybody.
Thank you very much, everybody.
Joe.
My apologies for being late. I had it after I got the first email, I put it down for 4:30. Sorry about that.
No worries. Appreciate you, Joe. Thank you.
Thank
Take
you.
care, everybody.